And everybody, quantum panel time. This topic is probably going to piss people off. So, no yelling, no screaming. Wait for people to talk. Let's get on. And first, kicking it off, we got Lynn coming in.
Hi.
Hey,
How
Lynn.
you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for coming to the panel tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. I found as I've gotten older that pleasing everyone's impossible. Pissing everyone off, though, seems to be a piece of cake.
hmm Oh, yeah. And that is the main meat of the thing I want to talk about in
That's
the
what you
panel tonight.
said.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Delightful.
Um, but I do want to go over the first hour, and I'm still going to go out and see Comet Nishimura. Hope your skies are clear tonight.
Mine aren't. We're going to have rain here in a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry, but
Oh, don't
Comet
be sorry.
Nishimura.
We are happy to have it.
Okay, well, um, in my neck of the woods, it's going to be coming out at around 5 a.m., 5:15, and I'll
About
be trying to
3:15
take.
here.
Yeah, I'm going to try to take a picture of it. I've got a good camera, but you never know. It's a sky pick at night,
Right.
so who knows? And I want to see it because it's going to be 435 years before it comes back around. So once in a lifetime, I want to see it. I got
Yeah.
to see Hale Bop. I got to see Haley's, and now I
Mhm.
want to see this one.
Yeah, I've seen those two too. So,
And an eclipse, which was awesome.
a full eclipse?
Yeah, the full eclipse. Remember, it happened a few years ago.
I
That was
do. We
crazy.
lived over on Enoch Corridor in El Paso, and we
The
watched
cool.
it. We
hmm
watched the western sky where that happened, uh, as it happened. So that we were excited about that.
Yeah,
One of
the
those
weirdest
odd things. Of
thing.
course, I'm easily entertained.
The weirdest part. I can. Oops. The weirdest part I could tell with that eclipse was the light filtering through the trees. They were
Hmm.
tons of little eclipses. I was like, whoa! No wonder they thought the place was haunted and doomed.
Oh yeah, the flickering and the whole business. Because we, like I say, we were up on the hill there, and
hmm
watching that over the valley, flickering back and forth. That was interesting. No wonder
hmm
they thought, oh heck, it broken loose.
Yeah, because it got nighttime for just a few seconds.
Yeah.
Total. It got dark.
The birds went to sleep.
Yeah,
The
the
birds
cats
all
were all like,
gathered
"What?
and
What?"
went to sleep and said, now what?
hmm So yeah, we've had for the past little while, we've had quite a few celestial events in
Hmm.
our neighborhood. That's really
Hmm.
cool,
Yeah, it's
and we didn't
unusual.
do any of
Well,
them. We
not
did
we won't
Starlink.
tell.
And I went over normal paranormal living just a little bit. I touched on it just a little bit because um, spirit guide, jump in reality, knowing energies, feeling people, getting pings, having the weird dreams, self connection, chakras,
Oh
crystals,
yeah,
and it's just,
it's a
I
big world. It's a very
yeah,
big world, and
yeah.
I think
I got
it's
to,
important if you're getting into it to take it easy.
yeah,
Get to know one little corner of it at a time. So it's not such a huge bite to take.
yeah, like culture shock, because it
It
really
is
is
very
culture
much
shock
so.
when it hits you so hard. Luckily, I've been doing paganism for 20 plus years, and I already was used to the strange happening around me.
There's a lot of
And
things. Uh-huh.
mhm, but when it started happening directly with me, I was like, whoa, even me, having lived 20 something years as pagan, it still shook me. I mean, look, we're
Oh,
on
it
the thing
does.
called the quantum show.
Oh, it does though. These living pagan is not for sissies. It really isn't. And it's not because of what other people do. It's the odd things you get exposed to, where suddenly somebody's talking to you and you can't see them. you know?
Hmm.
So
I got told, you were here, I believe, that they said it was a manifestation of my consciousness. And I'm like, I thought about
it's
that.
interesting.
Yeah, I thought about that. And while it could be that, I don't think it's that.
I don't
I've had
buy
that
that
happen
either.
before.
Hi,
Yeah, here comes
Shadow.
Shadow.
Howdy, folks.
How you
Sorry I'm late.
doing?
Hey, man, just going over the first hour, bro. Can you hear us
Yeah,
okay?
I actually caught most of it. I didn't do a show tonight because my son's out of town, and I didn't want to do the show without him. So I was catching your show. I caught most of it up until like the last 15 minutes of it. I got to say, it was
Okay.
one of my favorite shows you've done in a long time. Just because
Hmm.
I'm all about that rebel spirit. Just because the Empire was right doesn't mean I can't, you know,
Hmm. Yeah, the
root for a
headline
little
says it
bit.
all.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, and because now we have past experience about it. But I was just going over what we went, what I talked about in the first hour. Oh, that's the wrong direction. And
ATCG and Derek,
yeah,
how you guys
he
doing?
Derek had to step away. Quantum Gamer is, I think, still here. Um,
Crafting gamer, yeah.
Crafting gamer.
oh, Crafty Gamer. Sorry. Well, he's
He's
quantum
a
because he's
quantum
here.
exactamundo.
New name, Quantum Gamer. You heard it here.
Hey, if they can
And
give me a nickname, they can give him one, or we can give him one.
mhm.
Okay.
But I was just, yeah, going over the culture shock of uh becoming steeped in all of this stuff with this perspective. Even though I've been doing paganism for 20 plus years, um it's a lot. It's a
It is.
shock, and I've been doing all this.
You know, I when I was first in craft, uh, I was alone. There wasn't there wasn't the acceptance, even what there is now, and there isn't much. But at that time, you could literally get beat up on the street for it, and
Yeah.
if somebody knew you were, not to mention the harassment and the rest of it, but just finding literature on these subjects, it wasn't there. This is all much of the literature, and I'm not saying these are new things. They're not. They're not new at all. But literature on them, where people have literally gone and stolen from libraries literature that of the Enlightenments and the some of the new agey things, quote unquote. You know,
Hmm.
New Age is neither new and it's not, but it is aged. You know,
Hmm.
but there wasn't this stuff, and suddenly hearing and seeing stuff could have was very frightening to some people.
Hmm.
Uh, Others were told they were demon possessed, which is it's very unlikely, and I'll say why. All of us have a guardian, you know, of some sort. Now, some of us call them angels, others are gulas, others are ancestral. Okay.
I got my guardian right here.
Yeah, okay. Resembles you somewhat. I don't know. I understand that. Anyway,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get you. That's what you get for doing that to me. Anyway, but
So good.
a lot of it was very, and not just not accepted, but hostilely rejected. So,
Mhm.
and we're coming into a time now where our our world is at a quarter turn, and there's much more ability to see things, hear things, know about things, and just be aware of them.
Mhm.
So, it's but when you're new at it, it's it's very easily to get burned out from it. It's very easily to get frightened by it. And
Mhm.
yet,
There's so much of it because
yeah.
once it starts happening, you start seeing it everywhere. Things
Oh
that
yeah.
were one thing before become something new,
Mhm. Yeah,
and
because
it's
now you know what
everywhere. I
you're
mean,
looking at.
yeah, and the filters start to come down because
Mhm.
before, yeah, you would see something, but you would be like, your mind would filter it out because it had zero context for it and zero
Right. Right.
experience. But
You
then,
know, years ago, I heard a woman talk about why the uh, natives accepted Columbus and oh, some of those uh, onto to Mexico and some of those places. Saying it wasn't Columbus; it was uh, to South America. Was okay Cortez? No, does that sound right? Anyway,
uh,
the reason they didn't understand what a ship was, they'd never seen one before. They thought maybe it was an illusion, in clouds or something of that nature. And then this thing brought people in shining armor, and this correlated to a prophecy they had about a god coming to their lands. So
Quetzalcoatl.
and they were taken fairly easy by it. But we don't know what we're looking at half the time.
Right.
The sudden stutter in time. I've seen stutters in time. It's kind of interesting when it happens.
Hmm.
And
Well, hmm
things of that nature. And
hmm
suddenly, when that third eye opens up and says, "Oh, look, here's the world. I've never seen this before."
hmm
It's frightening. It's scary in many
yeah,
respects, but also something of it's a rush. It's a big rush.
yeah.
And
Joe,
enjoy
welcome
it
back to
while
the
you've got
Quantum
it.
Panel.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah, your lighting
Howdy.
looks better.
Yes.
The front
Can you
light
even
tells
hear
us.
Thanks.
us? Okay. All right.
Alrighty then. But yeah,
Good to
and
see you,
then
Joe.
How you
first
doing,
hour,
Shadow?
I also dropped a couple of names, Hellier, and I left a link in the description. The link is in this description too for everything I talked about. And everyone who has a channel has a link. Raven may show up. I sent her the link. She's invited. She said she was ready, so we're ready to receive. And
Yeah, I've heard that before.
that's okay. Yeah.
She may be, or she may not be, or there may be a
Hmm.
cat under the porch. We just don't know.
Or a giant mutant
Oh, it's a
possum.
raccoon. A raccoon or a
They're
possum.
running off with their car keys. I don't know. Oh, that's a raccoon. Never mind. It does happen to her quite often.
Yeah. Oh, and
Ferret.
something else I mentioned was, has anyone seen the flying whale video from Dubai? The hologram video?
Oh,
I think I saw it
I
actually
saw
a
it back
while
in-
ago, though.
Yeah. Joe, what?
I saw it back when it was in Japan.
Okay. Japan has another one too. Well, Japan has a new one out. Notice, Lynn, have you seen that? Are you familiar?
No, I haven't. I'm not familiar.
Okay. These things look spot on real, and cameras are picking it up. There's no flicker, like as if you're looking at a projection screen or video screen. It looks real. And but they've all been outside the United States. I've never seen a demonstration within the United States because they're keeping it out of the mainstream so they can use it on us, I think, because it seems to be going along that line.
What's the
You got to
concept
remember,
of it?
we are the leaders of the free world, supposedly, and if we go, everything else goes. We're the hardest target. Everything else is a foregone conclusion to them. We're the only challenge. Therefore, when they finally do their things, they need to be at the top of their game to, go against every blade of grass.
Who
Mhm.
are they?
Right.
And you know what was behind those blades of grass?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The bad guys. The bad guys at the top. The 7 people that actually pull all the strings.
Yeah, the elite class,
All right.
the people that
As long
I
as we're
think
clear
there's
on who
someone.
we're respecting or
Yeah, I think there's
disrespecting.
someone. Huh?
So long as we're all on the same page.
The Mr. Burnses of the world.
There's
Yeah. Though
a
I think
lot
there's
of
there's something behind those guys too, because
more
I
like-
still can't logic what is the point of that. What is the point of everybody
Hey, Bo.
getting on the same page? I'm still having trouble logicking that out. If there is a solid goal, then sure, right? Like when the boss comes down and inspects, everybody gets in line, does stuff, cleans their desks, gets old work fixed, and everything, sweep the floor, as best as ability. Who's coming to inspect, And I'm just what. So
what's the point?
yeah. So
you
until
ever-
I know what the point is,
You're
right
aware
there.
of an addiction, right?
I'm aware of what.
An addiction.
Yes.
And power is an addiction too. If you have nothing
Oof.
else to pursue, what do you pursue? More power.
Okay. Well, I will have to go with that. It's as viable as an answer as I can come up with.
Not wrong.
Because Shadow,
At
what?
least in my opinion, she's not wrong. It's the ultimate drug, aphrodisiac, and motivator.
No.
It's
Okay.
at the pinnacle of the food pyramid, as it were.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 reasons to do everything, right? Money, power, sex. You feed sex and money into it, it's still power.
Hmm.
That's the reason.
Well, until I.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
No, me neither. I
I'm
agree.
just people on. Something I'm not going to say it again, but I said it in the first hour, where
Mm-hmm.
something that is extremely inflammatory, very accusatory, and did y'all hear me talk it?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't get a chance
Did I
to
say-
hear the first show, and I do apologize for that.
That's okay, but it's damning, so I'm not going to repeat it on me. Damning on me, so I'm not going to
I'm
say it
gonna have
again
to
because I don't want to
listen
get.
that then.
It's at
Yeah,
about the
I don't wanna
12
get
minute mark.
blown
It's a little past
off
the
of
12 minute
YouTube.
mark.
I'm
Go
sorry.
down.
Yeah.
Two people were talking.
Yeah. Around.
It's a little past. It's a little past the 12-minute mark.
Okay.
Mhm. And I did not write it down because then it would have been, you could hold it against me. Look, he typed it up on purpose. Legal reasons, but
Agreed,
Right.
though.
and
Well,
Mm.
at this point, you're kind of small potatoes. So they're not worried about you.
I know that's
But
fine by me.
that there's such a thing as plausible deniability.
Yep. So I will leave that there and.
Then, Ann, guess what I found an extra copy of?
What'd you see? I can't see it, Joe.
It's
Magic.
glaring.
Glare.
I can't see it, Joe.
Glare. Magic of
Okay,
stones.
let's see.
Oh, magic and stones. And that's Patty, isn't it?
Well,
Is it
she never
Patty?
went. She would have
Patty
slapped you silly if you called her
last.
Patty.
Yeah. She probably
Paddling.
smacked me hard for that.
But yeah,
Patty
how do y'all
glass
think
and
about?
cop it.
Oh, sorry.
Glass and cop. Yeah.
Have y'all heard the latest from Maui, where the governor was that the latest news? The governor or mayor of Hawaii is evicting the people who did not get burned out.
Yeah, that's old news.
Okay,
I
haven't
actually
heard
haven't heard
anything.
that. I've been following the school buses behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. On the school buses, a neighboring. Hold on 1 second, real quick. On a neighboring island that is completely owned by one person, 98% of the island, there are now 11 or 12 shipping containers. Whereas, weren't there 10 buses missing?
11.
11? There are 11 or 12 shipping containers. I verified it. Seen on Google Maps or Google Satellite.
So the thought is that these poor people did not escape.
Right. That's
Okay.
the leading conclusion. Need more information.
The
I
only
suggest.
problem with that is I've seen those kinds of metal boxes used for what you're implying. They have to be specially designed on the inside to be worth anything. And I don't know. I think that's potentially a red herring.
It's possible.
I think
But
so too.
besides that, Google Maps is behind the times.
Very.
It is not up to
Right.
the minute.
Oh, for sure. Need more information. I'm hereby charging Thirdphase of Moon to take their fancy long distance camera, get in a boat on Maui, go across the way, take some pictures. Take some pictures of that stuff, right?
Good luck.
Make it a helicopter. You'll be less conspicuous.
Yeah, a tourcopter, absolutely.
I'll tell you, that was the biggest cluster I'd ever seen in my life. The biggest. I'll tell you what made Katrina look small. What was done in that mess.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. And
I don't know.
hoping
Katrina was pretty bad.
I know it was. But that's a whole section of a state, and I would say that New Orleans, I'm speaking, of course, of that dam breaking and the amount of casualties that occurred during Katrina. And this supersedes Katrina by a heck of a lot. It truly does. There was nowhere for these people to run to. It's like
That
they
was
were
the point.
corralled.
That was the point.
It was like
Hey,
an extermination.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan, have you been following Squirrel Tribe?
I have poked in a little bit. I haven't been
Okay.
following.
She's one of the most comprehensive out there. She's a little goofy, but that's needed when you're talking about these kinds of things.
Yeah.
I highly recommend her channel. She don't know me from Adam, but she she is one hell of an investigator. Could have used her back
Okay.
in the day.
Mm. One other investigator that she might not be as deep digging, but she gets headlines out there to, with the or the slant that we tend to look on things, is Riss Flex.
I knew it. I knew it. She is freaking awesome. She is one heck of a
Yeah.
young lady who's. I've been watching her since before the YouTube purge, and I don't know how she
Mhm.
scooted by, but yeah, she's one heck of an investigator.
Yeah, she's not
Or,
a
or
deep digger, but that's okay.
yeah, she goes in places. She does kind of a lot of the harder, like more boring research into
Mhm.
the less glamorous sides of things to get the info she gets, or she's a really really good plant uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
because of the fact she made it through the purge, and anybody who made it through the purge is highly suspect. Like the Y Files, I love that show, but it's a shame.
Mhm. Yeah, Y Files. I tried several times on your recommendation to go look at them, and I get the idea that I'm watching a PBS show or Nature Channel or History Channel.
You know what? Just look under the fishbowl, and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
Hmm.
Okay.
I
All right.
know that
I'll look again.
research, the one of the most difficult things about research is the deadly boring stuff.
Yep.
And you got to get through all that junk to get to to get a clue. You have to know what you're looking at. And if you know what you're looking at, then you can start digging deeper. So many people have not got an analytical enough brain to be able to do it. To be able to look at, um, see Jerry run. Why is Jerry running? Jerry's running after a bird. Why is Jerry running after a bird? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And get to the bottom end of that is really hard to do. It really is.
Yeah, the
And the
rabbit
ones that
hole.
can do it, they have to watch not just their research subject, but the guy that's watching them.
Hey, Justin.
There's Justin and Bo Paints and Derek. Who else is in there?
CCG.
I thought
Yeah,
I
got a few
saw
people in.
it, the crafter or game crafter, Samantha.
Crafting gamer.
Crafting gamer.
Hi,
Yeah.
Samantha.
A lot of my really good friends have joined us tonight. Sorry, guys, I couldn't do a show earlier. Jackie was out of town, and I just wasn't gonna do a show without him. Just it didn't seem right tonight, and um, I had a couple other things I had to do, and it allowed me the opportunity to actually watch Nathan in all his glory do his thing. It was a really good
Thank
show,
you.
man.
And hit the high notes too.
No, I'm really concerned with the potentiality of my son having to do, uh, you know, teleclasses, online learning. He did too well last year to just throw that all away to to miss out on this year and the next because of reasons and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that
And
would
here
not be
she
nice.
is.
Okay,
Here
she
Hey, Raven,
comes.
how you doing?
You got her?
Hi, Raven.
Let's see.
Hi, Raven.
Hi.
You want me to put her in?
Justin.
You got it?
I had to
Oh my
mute
God,
you.
Justin.
Here she-
Yeah, that's funny as heck, but no. Yes,
It's an
Bo, that is
interesting
absolutely
idea, but
correct.
I wouldn't do it either.
There's too many things, Bo, that just all add up to shenanigans. I'm just gonna put it out like that.
Yeah,
And that's really putting it nicely.
yeah.
What's up,
No,
Raven?
I don't see
Well,
any.
if it was not
No
if it was not
incompetence.
by somebody who did it on purpose, if it wasn't, then we'll say maybe it wasn't, but it sure was taken full advantage of.
Bo is saying all I'm saying is strong accusations require equally strong violence. Well,
Evidence.
what do we
Evidence.
suspect happened? Who has the capability of doing that? Who has the motivation for doing that? There's your murder case right there, right? That's where the investigation
fact that the fact that no one's allowed to film, drone, or record anything within miles of the area. People are still, after a month, not allowed to go back to their property and not allowed to sift through the rubble, and people are being arrested for trying to film the things that are going on. Is just that sort of thing never happens.
How many
Joe,
house
what?
fires have you seen? How many house fires have you seen where all the bricks come apart?
They don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
This is
Bo-
what it is.
Valley,
And
the house,
this thing was orchestrated. There's no doubt about it.
Okay,
the evidence-
Bo. Yeah. Who? Okay. What was done? Who can do it? Why? Who would want to do it? And there's the beginning of the investigation right there that they don't want to do.
Not
Let's see who can do
not
it.
in Hawaii,
Billionaires.
Justin. Not in Hawaii. You're
Yeah,
not allowed
billionaires,
with
right?
files of the location.
Billionaires and government have the ability to do it. What's
The
going
laws that were
on there
changed up
now?
until that moment
People,
are crazy. The governor signed into law an amendment or whatever you call it, where the historical land could be purchased by the government should something like a natural disaster occur to the area. And then a couple months later, a natural disaster happens to the big historical area.
Coincidence? Yeah, I saw that too, Shadow. That was amazing.
Follow the money.
Yep.
Who's looking at refurbishing it?
Hey, we're trying to keep you awake, Intergalactic, but it is a Saturday night, depending on where you are. Maybe you were, boogieing a little too much, enjoying your Saturday afternoon, but we will try and keep it lively for you. Worst comes to worst, I will bring my puppy on.
I know it's
Oprah.
not
I have
evidence.
all respect
It's
for
just
Oprah.
Well, I need more information. I want to hear Oprah's side. I want to hear Rock's side. I want to hear them come out.
They traced that link and then traced it to a bank in Hollywood. And it's where all of them kind of have their little fundraising and all this stuff. And it goes right then to JP Morgan. And they were here, they're going on and on and on about, this is going to go in the hands of the people that really need it and all this kind of bullshit. And this is a billionaire and a couple millionaire. Oprah's worth more than Rock is. And like they have enough money to rebuild that whole area and for every family that's been affected by this and not even blink an eye. And yet they want us to donate our money when half of us can barely afford the rent and food on the table. I mean, that's just so low. I've lost all respect for Oprah. She's at the bottom of the barrel now, as far as I'm concerned.
Beers, 12, 13 beers, huh? You know what? If you want to, if you need reasons to mistrust Oprah, just look up the word John of God.
Oh, yeah. I know about that. I know somebody that went and went there because of Oprah's recommendation and so forth. Hmm.
When you look at a
Did y'all?
fundraiser that is uh, hosted by a very moneyed person, if you will look at how much it costs to, we'll say, rent the hall, rent the catering, buy the food, and of course sell tickets and all the rest of it, about 1% of whatever they raised will go to their charity. No more than that. If it's
Right.
5%, I'd be amazed. You know,
Yeah.
it's not.
Most,
They're
most
not doing it for charity. They're doing it for the write-off. They're
yeah,
doing it for
most
the
charities are are not really charities, other than unless you consider the providing a job and a salary for the people who work for the charity.
right.
Like you said, the Salvation Army, Red Cross, Goodwill, they barely put back 5% into the people they're supposedly
Right.
helping. That's a
No,
bit,
And
no, wow.
that's published information. That's not just a grab out of the sky. It's published.
yep.
You
Mhm.
know, if you want evidence, it's out there to get. You know, you just have
Mhm.
to do due diligence and find it.
And
I've
folks
seen
out
it.
there in TV land, you got to understand that when we talk about something, these aren't the only factoids that we've come across. But if we were to just tear apart one particular subject, we'd be here all night, especially when it comes to any one of the subjects we've spoken on. Pick a thing, a story, and go do your own research and get back to us. Trust me, you can spend weeks just looking into one thing or another, and we just don't have that kind of time. We like to throw out the really frightening or crucial pieces that have stuck in our brain to share with you. And if you start at any one of these little breadcrumbs, you'll find things that just you
Things
know
you don't want to know about
well, there's that.
ever.
Well,
Yeah.
I actually do want to know, but it's going to take a lot more than that to scare me.
But the average person doesn't have the stomach for it.
You're absolutely right. There's neither the stomach nor the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. That's why I have chose a
Cultural.
later time in the night, because only the people
Justin
who
makes the
really
point quite
want to do this
succinctly.
stuff. Yeah. And
I like that,
it's,
Justin.
after 9 p.m. and especially on a panel show, right? And
Yeah.
oh, rich people tip from the Quantum Show. Here's a loophole for you. Rich people do this. Get or make a piece of art, right? I suggest you make one. It doesn't matter what it is. You know where I'm going with this? Okay.
I sure
Make
do.
you a piece of art. Value it personally at $15,000. Value it personally at $15,000. I
Have
don't
it
think there needs to
appraised.
be a paper trail. Yeah, but just in case,
They
put
have
it
it
on eBay.
appraised. They get a buddy and they
Yeah,
have
well,
it appraised.
art. It's art.
Yes.
It's art. You are the appraiser, and it is legal. So you appraise it. Put it on eBay. Put it on Etsy for $15,000. If it sells, you got 15 grand. If it doesn't, take it down. Put it up for a few days, a week, a month, a little while, right? Just to have a paper trail. Then say, "Oh, it didn't sell." Donate it. Donate it to a charitable organization,
Okay,
and then
Bo.
write it off on your taxes. Hmm?
That's the cool thing about freedom of speech. I can kind of say all kinds of stuff. I'm not gonna, write up a report and file a claim or anything like that. I just that's not going to do anything.
I like
It-
breathing.
if you've got a sinky feeling and you wonder and you care, awesome. If not, I get it. It's not for everybody. And you know, uh, it's not uh, tonight's topic. I think is elsewhere, but we can do an all Hawaii show, I suppose. If you'd like to hear one, uh, let us know. And if you want to talk about lizard people, um, we can do that too.
Well, I mean, some
Oh,
of us
Well,
definitely.
know some
well,
lizard
you
people.
could
They're
maybe.
nice.
I can't. I've never seen one. I've seen some very reptilian-like
Let me ask
people.
you one question.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were at Walmart?
Actually, that's where I did see someone that looked reptilian, very reptilian,
Just saying.
and I was at Walmart. The dead of night. It was before COVID, and I've spoken about this. I have many times. That we did see people, and they were not. They were from out
I
of
see
town. I
people.
assure you. That they
You
were
think they
a
were?
very interesting bunch.
Oh, Bo, I love you're bringing this to the show. I'm not being sarcastic. I do. I love it because
No, he's
it
right.
gives it gives the other side of stuff. I don't want all agreement all the time because nobody ever learns anything. If we have all agreement all the time, it's like playing for the winning team all the time. You never learn by losing, you know? So bring the dissenting opinions and thank you for presenting them in such a way that we can actually
No,
discuss things.
I've seen stuff at
Seriously.
Walmart that, man, you should see. Somebody out
we'll do,
all night.
Justin. But Bo hits us with that comment or me quite often, and I'm despite the outward demeanor, I'm a bit of a scatterbrain. So, putting up a report on Hawaii right now, I would just give you like a huge list of YouTubers that have done the work for me, and that
Right.
places I've checked into myself that I'm not putting them out on Front Street. They want to stay where they are, and gonna let them feed me you know information when I ask them for something. They'll give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down kind of thing. Uh, it, it, you can't tell me that it feels perfectly like just a random group of mistakes and happenstance that just so happen to benefit the people who have the ability to make it happen. I know you're going to say that doesn't mean you know elsewhere, but when you see the faces of the people that have been affected, you can't help but want to feel for them.
They
And
did the same thing in New Orleans. Exactly the same things. You know,
Yeah.
oh,
what's
we'll
the
be
lizard, Kim?
prepared, and the rest of it. No, they're not prepared for any of it. If we'll just out of the clear blue sky say, "Oh, is all a big mistake." Yeah, it was. It was incompetence and deliberate incompetence,
Deliberate incompetence. Yeah.
and
Yes.
it was
Um,
in New Orleans in 2005. Is that right? 2009. I can't remember. That was deliberate incompetence. Absolutely deliberate on the part of the mayor, on the part of the governor, on the part of Louisiana. Just follow it up the line. And what's really interesting about it is how much incompetence there was, from the nursing homes all the way to the schools to to law enforcement. You know, the system completely fell apart, and it did in this case too.
Yeah, here's the thing though. When they've been talking about uh, their plans before this happened, that this happening just so happens to make their other plans all the more possible. I gotta wonder, nobody gets that lucky on the suffering of others.
Twice. Well, 3 times. Look at what Florida goes through, and look what governor and mayor these people have. That's a huge misfortune waiting to happen, isn't it? The whole business is a
I'm not
racket.
sure what you mean about Florida. I know they go through rough patches, but uh, and same with New Orleans. I haven't heard of New Orleans like being purchased and refurbished by a smaller group of people. If that's the case, I must have missed that.
Well, we won't say refurbished because that didn't happen. Many parts of New Orleans are still completely devastated.
Yeah, to me that doesn't
That may
scream
have been more of a
attention.
question of looking at the thing and seeing what was possible.
Maybe it was a test run. I could see that.
I'm not saying any of it was on purpose or set up. What I'm saying is the government in the United States, in the states of the United States, in the cities of the United States, in the townships and counties are incompetent, and willingly so. All of them.
Well, especially when you put all professional politicians in there. It's our country was set up on having gentlemen who had jobs, who worked their own businesses, go in and set up the laws. Now you have millions of dollars off of our backs doing what? Making up laws?
Yeah. That's what they're hired for, right?
Yeah.
Howdy, Cindy. Congrats.
You know, I look
Higher.
at Las Cruces is on the verge of a financial crisis. They don't even know it. No clue about it. They have a downtown main drag problem with homeless funneling in here as fast as they can make it, and from
Oh, but
all types
Hondo,
of life.
have you seen
People are
Hondo Pass
losing
or
jobs, homes. Big pardon?
Have you seen Hondo Pass or Highway 54? Or just
Yes, I
look into
have.
our drainage district. Our drainage dishes are full of tents. Let's have a good rain.
I can remember running up Vulcan Avenue just
you
prior
got you
to
got
a
you got
huge
any
deluge,
you know
yelling at them to
any
get
good
out of
rain
it.
dances?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
I'd pay good money to see Joe doing a rain dance. I mean, good money.
It's been a while.
I got a couple of 20s.
Once the old man's on his feet, you can see him do it. It's
Miller got hurt
we
just a while back.
we have a
That
whole
was,
society that's. I'm sorry, Joe. Were you speaking? I can barely hear him.
yes, you can
Yeah,
barely hear me. Let's try this.
That's better.
Yeah, I turned up your mic and it seemed to actually like lower it.
You were saying something?
We were talking about Millard, right?
Yes.
We were talking about
The
Anyway,
damned Irishman.
Irish, Indian, A little bit of Popeye in there
Actually, he's
somewhere.
Scottish. Actually, he has Scot in him, and he is also a half Cherokee. His father was medicine person,
Anyway,
medicine man.
down there is at least 20 acres full of tents out
Yeah.
at Highway 54, and it's wire fenced in like a concentration camp.
Yeah.
And then on, you remember Hondo Pass there, Nathan, up on Hondo Pass where they had that small department of immigration there.
Yeah.
That whole area, all the
Yeah.
way back to the canal, is now full of trailers and tents. And they made a huge warehouse there, and it's all full. And then we still have people all over the streets. We are inundated with
And
homeless
and
populations around here.
and Morris is saying that they are inundated with homeless and migrants. You know, so both countries in sister cities there are completely loaded with immigrant. I can't even say immigrants.
Migrants. Yeah.
Just
Immigrants.
trying to get into the United States however they can do it. You know, we won't say legally or illegally or any of the rest of it. And it's not
Yeah.
just Mexicans. It's not just Guatemalans. We're seeing people that are Russian. We're seeing people that are Ukrainian, Chinese. You know, you put a lot of emphasis on South Americans, but that's not all that's there. And
Nope, Middle
they're
Eastern,
trying to filter
you know, with
through who's
God
not
knows
a
what they're
complete
bringing in
nutter.
their backpacks.
Yeah. They're trying to filter
Unfortunately, that's
through
true.
who's not a public danger. And we're talking about thousands. We're not talking a couple
We're talking about
hundred.
children.
Yeah.
We're talking about unaccompanied children.
Yeah, it is
it's
a
heartbreaking.
very dark time.
No,
When it first started, I saw that stuff off of, I think it was Hondo Pass, and it was small then, and I was shocked. I literally was, I had my breath taken away that this stuff is happening here, and it's good, and it has kept happening. That was 15 years ago, and it's kept happening, and it shocked me so much. I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
just boiling over. They're fishing bodies out of the Rio Grande daily. I didn't say body. I said bodies. You know, where people have tried to cross that river. That river is treacherous, horribly so. And it's dry
It's
some
very
of the year.
shallow. It's quicksand.
Yeah.
It's
So you
deceiving,
get
is what it
knocked
is.
into one of those underground springs, and down you go. You'll never be seen again.
Cindy has a very, very good question, and unfortunately, there's a very dark side answer to that because the city won't permit it with
No.
fees and stuff. The privately owned malls and buildings are privately owned, and they're not going to lease, license, or otherwise help because they're greedy. And even though, and they want their money now, and they're tied up in legal bullshit, and
Right.
they're not willing to get in any other legal bullshit. Yeah,
And
there are
what
empty
are you
malls.
gonna do? You
That's
okay?
not 100% either.
No, it's not 100%. It would be a step in the right direction, but no one's willing to take that step because it won't pay them to do it.
No,
Well,
what I'm talking about is on Manila Street, where the old Rocket workout center used to be. That's full of people.
yeah.
They got rid of all the equipment, and they're making more money off the city renting it to to the immigrants, and they're just packed in
Okay.
there. You see them out in the street, and well, that was kind of across from the bookstore. Okay, you remember Manila?
I do.
Diagonally across from the bookstore. Yeah, well, they covered that whole area, that whole parking lot there. Remember how huge the parking lot was?
Mm-hmm.
When they come out of that building,
it's beginning to make LA Skid
each other.
Row. It's beginning to make LA Skid Row look hospitable. That's how bad it is. You don't go down there. You don't go down there during the day. And you don't go alone.
Then you don't go unarmed?
And you don't go unarmed.
Come on, get up here.
But why would you go? Why should you go down there?
Because you're looking for
because
fentanyl?
Pet Barn's right across the street.
That's why.
And I'm not a fan of fentanyl, so I don't go there.
Well, it's not just fentanyl; it's everything. It's a black market full. Whatever you want to, what kind of vice you need, whatever, anything you want.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about, Shadow.
Yeah.
It's for sale. All of it.
I know.
And Justin, to your question is no one gave consent for that. No one gave consent for that. We gave consent to process people coming in the country. We gave consent to help people come in who need it. Give us your weak or you're sick, you're hungry on the Statue of Liberty. We gave consent for that. We didn't give consent for open borders. No, we never gave consent for that. And I would like to challenge anyone to show me where we did give consent for that. We didn't hire these hire congressmen and senators. Hire. They said I'm available, and they said pick me, and we picked them.
They reminded they work for us. It's not the other way around.
Well, we keep calling them our leaders.
They're not my leaders.
They're not.
I got one leader, and yeah, they ain't him.
They're my representative.
They're not representing the way I'd like.
Leader, and they're not representing
California.
How do I write somebody? How do I write them up? When a representative, how do I write them up? How do I put it in their file? Write them up.
It's called your vote, and that's all you got. They made that just almost worthless.
Right.
I tend to agree.
Put in one state, they put 800,000 votes that when they finally got around to looking at it, these aren't legal. But of course, it's like 3 years down the road.
Well said, Cindy. I've been saying that for years. Yeah. If I go south of the border right now without any of that, the things that would happen to me, yeah, not very
into Mexico without a passport.
Right.
We can't do it.
Yes.
Used to be an open border, but not anymore.
Hey, does anyone know if you need a passport to go on a cruise ship when you're not landing in another country?
You still need one.
You still need one? International waters, right? Okay, I wasn't sure on that. I never do that. So.
Well, what do you do if you're on a lifeboat? They pick you up and you got nothing. You know, you're in a world of trouble at that moment.
Yeah,
because you can't prove who you are.
Oh yeah, I can. I just go on YouTube. Go see, there's me.
I thought I heard a foghorn there in the background.
That's what it sounded like, didn't it?
Sorry, I had Mexican for dinner.
Too much rice and beans over there.
No, it's the racetrack behind my house. It's Saturday night and people
Thank
are
you
being
for the hint. Thank you
I thought
for the
we were
hint
on
about
the
the
coast.
tablet there, Nathan. My computer wasn't coming up. Well, it was running, but wouldn't run the show. So I stuck it on the
Yeah,
tablet here.
believe
Since
it
I
or
heard
not,
you talk about the tablet,
tablets and phones are actually made are better made toward doing this sort of interaction than your
Yeah.
regular PC. Although I finally got my laptop up and working, and that's been a blessing, considering how much I paid for the damn thing. But yeah, you could. I ran my show with my son on a tablet for the better part of 3 years on a $200 tablet.
this is the $39 tablet.
Yeah, they're designed, the hardware, etc. in them are more conducive for this kind of communication, whereas PCs and things like that they're just not
They have
really
a lot of overhead. They got a lot of overhead hardware to deal with before it gets straight to the point here. Yeah, I have to concede that the tablets and the phones work better for this, because when I was doing it on the computer on the big box before it went down, it was rough. It was rough.
Edgar.
I still don't know why.
You're making me hungry, man.
And
Bo is absolutely right.
Waffles.
It's funny how people change their opinions, when it actually suits them versus what they actually say.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting about the Diebold machine.
Oh, this
I worked for Diebold for a couple of years. A few years ago, we actually were
so true, Bo. So true.
Yeah, we were making ATM machines, testing them. Getting them ready to launch. And the machines that everybody takes advantage of now in the hospitals, where they're taking medications and stuff that are like your fentanyl and morphine and high theft drugs, inaccessible to anybody but somebody who is tracked. Okay. But we worked with those machines, and I'll tell you what, those guys are real particular about getting it just exactly right. I mean, down to the last itty bitty millimeter. So unless they've changed their ways, they're very good. They have been for years. That's why you get exact change out of ATM machines, and you don't get a mistake out of them. Very, very rarely.
Hey, Justin, I didn't pay for shit. I've been so off the grid for the better part of 30 years. You'd be quite amazed.
Oh, we lost Raven.
Oh,
dang it!
No, she's back.
Oh, she's coming back. She's trying to come back. Okay.
She's back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
she didn't. It kind of flickered.
She popped out for a minute. Yeah, she got devices not connected. Oh, there she is. Okay.
I don't even know how to pronounce that word.
Well, that's a perfectly.
I'm not telling you, Jack.
Okay.
That's on a need-to-know basis, and nobody needs to know.
Nathan, on your Mercury thing there, I think we can change up your that relay. What you need is a MOSFET driver, and it's a little board And it cost me more to ship it to you than what it would cost to get it sent from, well, you know where.
Hey, Cindy, what does the B stand for?
See?
Cindy.
Yeah, she said L.A. L.A.
Slapping
and-
my
One,
rear
A,
off,
and
but
then a
B.
B.
What's the B?
I don't know. Brother. Okay. She says brother.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Okay.
Mine off brother.
Okay.
That's a new one.
Okay, lag is getting over here. Joe, if you will send me a part number or what it's called, what you're using,
Okay.
I'll get one.
MOSFET driver.
Edgar,
And then
as long as
look
I get
it
to
up
be
on
president
our-
first, because I'm older.
Wait a
And then
minute.
when I'm done, Nathan can come in because yeah. Besides, the last thing he wants is an old man telling him what to do, or giving him advice. Let me run the show for 8 years.
Uh-oh.
Then Nathan can run the show for 8 years, and by then Jackie can come in and become king. We'll all be happy.
See, it doesn't take long to get power hungry, does it?
Hey, the world needs fixing, and the status is not quo.
No, it's not. And it never will be.
Well, it would be under Jackie.
One assumes. Yes.
I mean, but by then, I mean, most of us will be dead, so it's all good.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, 16 years.
I plan to live forever or die trying.
I'm gonna divine ascend, and I'm good.
Well, guys, we've been on a roll, and Raven, you came in, and we didn't even get a chance to properly say hello. I'm sorry about that. We were snowballing over here.
That's okay. That's okay. No problem.
Slightly.
Hi, Raven.
Okay. Okay.
Good to see you.
How weird was your day?
Every day around here is weird. It's just
Loaded with cats,
He
right?
is so sugarcoating that. Just saying.
no. There's been a rash of the Grim Reaper has been visiting here lately.
I'm
Quite
sorry.
often. Yeah, it's been kind of a traumatic week actually. But we're it's all good.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Absolutely. Yeah.
And remember, it's only our perspective down here that we're seeing. There's
Right.
a bigger. You know what? I look at it like their mission was complete, whatever it was. We don't know.
Dude, I already told her that. Listen, see? We know what's up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We
that's
see
why I
through
don't. I
through a mirror darkly.
yeah. We
On a
only
happier
have
note-
our own perspective.
On a happier note, Lynn Ann's going to be in the rabbit hole with me a week from Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. That's gonna be fun.
Justin didn't see a raccoon?
No, they've already been here. That's why I had to get up.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What? Raven's Day was
Yes?
not most peculiar
You
sheep.
called?
This, Justin.
No, not a big opinion, not at all.
I didn't finish reading the first one. Let me go back here. Let me see. What did he say? Raven's Day was most peculiar. She did
No,
not.
not that one. There's always a bigger picture if you want to see it. Just look up Lizzo.
There's always a bigger picture if you.
I don't know that
is Lizzo?
reference.
Huh?
What is Lizzo?
You talk about that. Lizzo is a pop singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't
It's a
keep
fat.
up. I don't keep up with
It's a
those.
fat. It's a fat joke.
Oh well,
Must be because I don't get it. It could be
no,
a
I
good
don't.
joke, and I might not get it though.
Yeah, Lizzo is not on my radar at all. Quantum or radio.
look down as a Twitter.
Be sure to put that link for Raven's Rabbit Hole on your show there,
It's in there right now.
Nathan.
It's one of the first ones. It's one of the first links up there.
What do you got all excited about there?
Bo is just being hysterical.
Who is this Lizzo? What?
Just look her up. Just look her up, and
She's
don't
a
look
pop
too long.
culture singer.
Okay,
She's just some
Bo's
pop
comment,
culture singer.
Bo's comment is two part. Every woman will say Lizzo is beautiful until you tell her she looks like Lizzo.
That's a meme. I've seen that meme.
Okay.
All right. I gotta do this now. Okay, fine. I gotta look at.
And
It must be that we each like to be recognized for our own self, huh?
No, I don't think that's it at all.
that's
Trust me, I
not
don't think
it.
that's it at all.
I do understand.
I mean, that's
that
true, but
reference.
that's not what he means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't run it backwards. And
I don't know. Let
every
me see if
man
I can
looks
liken it.
Lizzo. Not liking that either.
It would be like.
Okay, here we go. All right, I found it here. Let me see. What's it? American rapper.
It's like
Yeah, some pop culture stuff.
You have a very odd look on your face there, Raven.
yeah, because she looked her up. I told you, don't stare at it too long. It will burn a hole into your.
Well, now
back of
I
your
need
brain.
to go look and see it.
Yeah, I wish I could do that too,
Okay.
but we're gonna get this back on the rails and discuss something a little bit more positive. I have no idea what that's going to be, but
It's quantum.
I can just tell by that expression on Nathan's face.
There you go.
And Raven is
I'm
just
just like, how did we get here?
How do we get
Thanks.
out of this, Raven?
Okay, so who's the first one who brought this up? Okay, was this Bo?
yes, Bo's being
Bo.
Bo's being a little
Bo's being
cheeky.
Bo.
Yeah, I do not envy Raven's stomach right now.
No, it was Justin. He said
Okay,
there's always
Bo.
a bigger picture if you want to see it.
Oh
just look
yeah,
up
you
Raven.
started the Lizzo thing, but
Okay.
then Bo took a giant magnifying glass.
Oh
I'm
my God.
sure
Okay.
she's a lovely
So-
person.
I'm
I'm sure you're 100% incorrect.
mhm.
That's why it's okay. That's why she's fair game, and by game I mean water buffalo.
I'm not going to say a word about her. I
Don't
don't
put that
know
shame
her.
on you.
I don't
Oh,
know
you have no
anything
shame.
that-
I know you, Bo.
Not one word.
You may be polite, but shame. So, did anybody have anything weird happen to him this week?
Yeah, I was on Nathan's panel tonight, and it was
Yeah, everything weird
got
happens every
weirder
week.
and weirder. Yeah. That's not on you, Nathan. I think your co-host is getting strange about stuff, though.
Hey.
I saw a YouTube video today that said it was from I believe it was NASA's. Anyway, it just said NASA has spotted something in our solar system that's 3 times
it
the size
Lizzo?
of Earth or whatever. And then I click on this thing, and it's like talking about the history of the this web space cam and such. It's like a history video of stuff, and it wasn't didn't go right to the point. And I was like 20 minutes into it, and still they hadn't got around to talking about whatever this
All
was.
right.
This was just clickbait, I guess. I don't know.
It might be.
I'm not hearing Raven.
The picture that it showed looked like the Worf on Star Trek. What he was a Klingon looked like the Klingon ships.
Bird of prey.
Okay, bird of prey.
Yeah, that's what it. That was the little picture they were showing that like they had, and it was kind of like hazy, you know, and they were like insinuating that that's what they were looking at, or whatever. And here we go, because I'm just hyper vigilant
Joe.
over this
Hey, Joe.
alien.
I
Huh?
can hear you laughing, and I know why you're laughing. A certain night a few years ago, looking at the sun and watching something that looked for all the world like the Enterprise, gassing up.
Oh yeah. No, that was just off of Venus. Yeah, we're looking towards the sun, but we're looking right above Venus. It was a camera artifact.
That's
Just
what they thought
happened
anyway.
to look like.
Have you looked into the Black
Okay, that
Knight
was a NASA
satellite
video.
show?
I'm going to see if I can look it up.
The Black Knight.
Okay,
You know what I'm talking about?
how come I'm
No.
not hearing
I do.
everybody?
I don't
We've got
know.
some
Yeah,
lag
man.
going on.
The Black Knight satellite is this artifact that's been circling the Earth long before we ever got Sputnik or any satellites in orbit. And it's some people have tried to say that it's just space garbage or whatever, but it's in our orbit. And some think that it's a leftover satellite from an advanced culture that's long been gone. Could be an artifact of Atlantis, something to that effect.
Lizard people.
Or it could be, yeah,
Okay,
they're
I'm in the
lizard
shadow
people.
then, but I'm not hearing Raven.
They're not hearing me.
That's very strange. I hear Raven fine.
I hear her
Hmm.
fine. There's going to be some
I'm
lag.
hearing everybody but
Really? Oh, well, darn it. Here, maybe I'll write. Okay, well, Nate, one of you ask him then if he's heard of the Black Knight satellite?
yes, the Black
So
Knight
I'll ask.
satellite is
have-
fun to read.
Yeah,
What'd he say?
She's talking about Black Knight satellite. I got to turn your mic back down. I know what's going on that's fine. Whoa, blasting me out. Okay, all right. Just it's a connection problem. It's not an actual sound problem. Okay, Joe. She is saying, she's
Yes, sir.
asking, have you heard of the Black Knight satellite? Okay,
Oh yeah,
and they
way
are.
back.
We're discussing. She's going over how it has been in orbit forever, and it probably is a remnant, and it's suspected it's a remnant from a past civilization because it's apparently in a stable orbit because it has been for many years. Marconi detected it, didn't he?
No, not Marconi, Tesla. But no, it's disappeared and come back again. Too.
Tesla.
And it's changed orbit. It
Right,
used to go around
and-
this way, and now it goes around this way.
See, and that's what confuses me is how is that possible? That something is in an orbit and keeps on being in an orbit, but then suddenly changes orbit. That doesn't make sense. It's not. Physics doesn't support that.
Right.
Well, it can if something else pulls on it in a completely different direction. But what it would take for that to happen is something pretty darn big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Either
the
that or it
Oumuamua.
has thrusters.
Where it has what?
Thrusters.
Right,
Thrusters.
or it's under control.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It wouldn't be outside the realm of thought that somebody on this planet is decided to put up something that looks like something else, if you know what I mean. I mean, we're very good at that sort of thing, and
It would have had to
use
be
that
before
for
we had rocket.
okay. Then it's not possible for us to have done it.
No, because it was there
Well,
before
Right.
Sputnik.
if you believe the American Indians were on what, the fifth round of
Yes.
becoming
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
major civilization, and
Hmm.
we end up
And
destroying
something
ourselves
happens to
every
push
time.
us down.
Right.
Yeah. Everything
Well,
Yeah, and
then that was the thought
this
pattern,
makes
though, that it was from a prior civilization.
hmm and that it kind of sounds like a time capsule. Like, here's your backup of what you were.
See, I don't know
So
why,
get
like
with
Yeah,
the
come up here and
program.
get it.
the astronauts that are on the space station, for example, why they can't like get a closer image of it, something, more detailed, and or get up close to it and just find out just what the hell it is, you know. Um,
Well, I think they may be actually thinking about doing that. I mean, how many uh, of our major countries and India have made attempts to make another landing on the moon? Apparently, Russia didn't do too well at it, but Japan has a
Yep.
flight there, and
yeah,
They
on a
landed.
on
India.
a pole on top
and
of
India
it,
has, yeah. And so,
the
what is this
southern
big
pole.
black box that's on the dark side
That's
of the moon?
India.
What is that?
I don't know.
They're finding
I have to see it.
minerals.
What'd
What's
They're
you say,
that,
finding
Joe?
Joe?
some weird natural structure. They're finding that was India that sent it up, and they're finding minerals, and
Yeah.
they're finding apparently natural structures underneath the soil.
I saw
I'm
that
really
story.
wondering whether they're natural or not, but they're natural right now.
Well, if we blew up Atlantis, as some of us know that we have, why, it stands to reason that moon may have caught some of it, or was part of it, even
This is true.
possible.
Yep. Hey, based on Shadow has a question. Based
Mm.
on the bets that we took, did anybody win? Because when did they report the structures on the moon? When was that reported? Is there a date?
You told me that didn't count because I when we were making the bet, I said, "Hey, look!" They said there's structures under the soil on the moon, and you're going, "Oh no, those are natural structures. Those don't count."
Did I?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'll have to look at. I'll have to look at that one because I got. Okay, well, all right.
So did
Let's
Joe win the bet or what?
circle around.
No,
Let's
I didn't
circle
win the
around
bet
back.
because
Circle back around.
they-
Well, he had
Say that
an
again, Joe?
inside. It's an inside.
I didn't win the bet because you negated that. So I went, okay, my birthday. So no, they didn't come up with specials and said other than minerals.
Okay, let me see here.
Yeah, but
All right.
natural
Did you
structures.
did you
What
get?
does that mean?
Yeah.
Natural
I don't know.
structures.
We got one more about to come up. Raven, that's yours.
Yeah, I think I picked the 14th.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
What
I
did
would
we
like to
take
know.
the
I
bet
need
on?
to
I don't
look up.
remember.
I had, let's see, it was me, Joe, Shadow, Raven, Frank, and everybody is. Well, I need to like look up that stuff again because I may revise that. Joe may have won. We don't know.
What
Or
was
we
the
could
bet
just be.
about? I don't remember.
Will we find structures or will we find anomalous things on the moon that cannot be natural? I think. Is that.
I
Wait a
think
minute. What did I
so.
write here? I wrote it down.
That-
Let me see here.
What the
The
disclaimer was on
natural
it because you
Oh.
said,
structures.
oh,
I just said dark side stories is what I said.
Ah,
Okay.
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 Well,
So
Okay. So did
weird
anybody
stuff.
watch? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, Raven.
Did anybody watch that movie Celestial that Frank found?
I did.
That I had been looking for, and he finally found it. Thank you, Frank. Did anybody watch that? Joe, did you get to see it? Did you watch it? Can he hear me? I don't think he can hear
I
me.
don't
Joe,
I
did
couldn't
you
get
get
it
to
to
watch
run.
Celestial, the movie?
Apparently,
Joe,
he's
are you there?
hey, on apnews.com on the 29th is my birthday. India's moon rover confirmed sulfur and detects several and the rest of it. Several other elements on the moon.
Okay. Well, with
Okay, they
that,
found
I'm
minerals
going to
and
go
stuff,
with.
right? The structures. See
But
what?
that's still natural.
What does it? It doesn't say whether it's whether it's the normal formation of
No, it's chocolate. You can't
planet
have it
or
again.
that sort of thing,
No, it's chocolate.
or is it man made or is it alien made? So what is
Yeah.
the quantifier here?
I mean, structures
Well,
under
he
the ground
said
that can
that
be
something that was not
stalactites,
natural.
stalagmites,
That's
and
what he
trees.
qualified it as, and that
Okay.
those structures were natural, so they don't count.
No, although they found them, and I think it's interesting that there is something covered up that they're finding. So what is it? Caves? Is it
Yeah.
something washed out or blown out? They're not being very specific.
It could be stalactites that they've discovered underneath there. Those would be
Yeah,
structures.
so that's it.
Yeah.
That was
If there was a significant enough water available, and they're saying that there is water.
yeah. And so the domes that are over some of those craters that are lit from the inside out have structures in them, but that's on the lighter side of the moon. But did anybody watch Celestial?
I haven't
Did
had the
anybody
time.
watch Celestial?
Not
Did
me.
anybody watch Celestial? I watched Celestial.
Oh, good. Yay. So what did you think?
It was good. I watched it that night, and I don't remember too much about it. To be totally honest, it's not something I hadn't heard of before. All the stuff I've heard of before, it's nice to have a movie right there. One source.
And
I'm looking
I
up.
like how he did that. He doesn't tell you what to look for. He just kind of lets you go and watch it, and then if you pick up on it, you pick up on it, and if you don't, you don't. He doesn't. I liked how that was done. Yeah, you can see that these. I mean, they're lit from the inside out. It's not a reflection off the sun.
Yeah.
These
Right.
craters, and there's a glass dome over the crater, and there's buildings, there's structures underneath that. So it's like a dome city under some of these, and it's really pretty. The colors are like taupe and purple and grays and mauves, and it's just gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. There's even areas on there that look like they're like a deep blue that even look like an ocean. it's yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing. Can
Yeah.
is there a way to put a link in the chat for anybody who's
Let me.
interested?
They
Yeah. Let
try
me. I'm
to
going to grab it up.
have to have a short link because the longer link won't do that. But we probably could put one in the uh, in
Maybe the
YouTube and
description.
under the
Description.
description.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. But I
that
encourage
could
everybody
happen.
to check it out. It's really really interesting. It's briefly it's a, a guy in Texas who's an amateur astronomer, and he has photographed the moon, and it's in color, and it's just simply amazing what he's uncovered and magnified. You know, and we only see the moon in a gray and white scale. You know, and we've been told that it does nothing but just reflect the sun, blah blah blah, and
I don't believe that. So there's too
and
much
that's not
color.
true. And I
Mm,
had sent Nathan a couple of pictures earlier this week um, of the moon that I have photographed with my phone. That is just it's got an impossible shadow on
mm,
it. You know, if it's the Earth is creating this shadow, you know, on the moon, there's like angles at the top and a squared off area. I'm driving home and I'm like, what the hell? I pulled over and I'm like, that's not normal. That there's no way. I'm not saying I'm not a flat earther. Just put that out there, okay?
no,
But
of
there's
course
no
not.
way that that works because what I'm looking at here can't be possible.
Well,
So
you've got to
what the
remember
hell is
our
it?
atmosphere is kind of screwy anyhow. But
Hmm.
I don't for 1 minute believe that I see all of the color available when I look up at the moon or anything else for that matter. I see more color than most
Oh,
people do. You know, have more of a, a full spectrum of color than most people do. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and a lot of artists do. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you know, it's been proven with science that there's full spectrum of color out there that we can't
Yeah, that
see.
we don't see. Yeah.
You know,
Out of
we
the
can't
full
perceive
spectrum,
it.
we only see maybe this much,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
So you know, for somebody to say it's black and gray to me, you know, I know that's not true. I've got
well, remember the sky blue used to be gray according to the Greeks and the Egyptians.
right.
They called it gray.
Yeah, and they don't.
Right.
And our language doesn't encompass a lot of shades or spectrums of color. It doesn't. You know, certain languages have one word for several things. I mean, we were talking about that the other day, Joe. You know,
Mm-hmm.
where there is a whole a whole descriptive void in language.
Yeah.
English can be very limited. You know,
I'm amused when I go to the paint store at some of the names they come up with for the colors, you know. You ever
well,
looked at this?
a certain Chinese company uh, goes through uh, goes through and names colors that we know as off-white or beige as apricot.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, that's crimson. Has carmine under it, but the color itself for us is pink. You know, fuchsia.
Yeah.
And it's
You should be
absolutely
like,
insane. I mean, I'm to look at that and say, well, I'm on my own just to figuring out what color that is. You
yes.
know, again, apricot can be yellow. It can be orange. There's a lot of color variation. The smells of things are also used in description very oddly. It's and they're trying to use like a Google translator, and of course Google has no clue how to speak English, and well, they don't. Neither is Microsoft. They sort of stumble along, but when you're getting into things that are artistic or descriptive, they're limited. Boy, are they limited. And then of course with the bunch of us, we're all of us have a certain amount of color array. And then you look at a palette full of brown, different colors and shades of brown, and they mark them like dishwater. It's like, what? Yeah, that's real attractive, folks. Yeah.
Or
I
they just
really want to wear underwear that's dishwater gray.
I want to paint my walls horse manure color.
Yeah, pork
Sounds
manure,
like you didn't wash them
great.
the last time.
Yeah. But these are real culture problems. They're real translation problems. They're very real. And if we can't agree on color, holy crap, no wonder we can't agree on anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
No,
But yeah, I'm remembering more about Celestial, right? And yeah, I don't know how we're only seeing grays as we look at the moon, other than it's being filtered through the atmosphere and we just can't pick it up. Because I'm like, I saw those pictures. I saw that video,
Yeah,
and the moon is multicolored.
I've looked at the moon on many occasions, being pagan, and my perception of the moon is different every time. It's not white. Sometimes it's yellow, sometimes orange, shades of orange, shades of blue, shades of green, yellow, and sometimes multicolored. There'll be pinks and blues, and I could see it. And somebody looks at me and sees the same thing, says, "But it's white." And I'm like, "Look closer. It's a multitude of things in there."
Yeah.
It
has something to do with how how our anticipation of what we think something should look like or whatever, and it has to be. I'm reminded of I don't know how to explain this. How do I explain this?
Anything I can do to fix the fact I can't hear her?
I don't know.
Nathan?
No, I can't hear Nathan.
Nathan, you're not plugged
I had
in.
muted myself. I forgot I muted myself because I was typing. And I don't know how to fix the sound issue, because it seems to be a server issue, unless everybody wants to go out and come back in.
I'm okay with doing that.
Okay, well, let me do it on this end. Let me do it on this end. Okay, so hold what you got. I'm going to one by one out and back in again. Okay.
Okay.
And sure. Raven first. Okay. Okay, Raven, give us a sound check.
Okay, check. Can you hear me, Joe? Hello?
Okay, that did not work. So, Joe, I'm going to go with you next. Out and back in again, okay? Don't hang up. Okay, sound check, Raven.
Okay, can you hear me now, Joe? Hello?
Joe, can you,
No?
no, nothing?
No?
How weird.
Okay, well, that didn't help. I would have to completely restart the show.
No, don't do that. I don't
no, I
know
won't
how
do
to. I would say the only maybe the individual needs to go clear out and come back in on a.
Why don't I try that? Why don't I go
link.
out and come right back in then? You want to try that?
Okay, go ahead.
Real quick?
Try that. You still have the link, so try that.
Yeah, let me try that. Okay,
Joe,
here.
Raven is going to go completely out of the show and come back in. Let's see what happens.
No, well, I would think for me to have to. Since everybody else
Well,
is
we'll
here.
do you next. All right, she's going to be coming back in just a
I have
second.
heard a background noise or an echo as well with Raven, just so you know.
Okay.
It isn't the Quantum Show without technical difficulties, folks.
Right.
Just
What kind of
hang
show
in
would
there,
it be?
we'll get it fixed.
We'd be too mainstream. Have a good one, Justin. Thanks for coming by.
Try very hard, Justin.
Take care, Justin.
Okay,
I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Yeah, that would. All right. Thanks, Justin.
Sorry, guys. I had a phone call from my son.
Okay.
Family's priority.
It says device not connected, Raven.
You're unaware of what's happening, Shadow. We're fixing a technical problem.
No, I've been following along. I can do two things at once. I just turned down my.
Okay.
Can you hear the rest of us, Joe?
Yes.
Okay.
Raven says you need to connect your mic and cam before you can add to the stream. And welcome to the show, Reality and Lunar. Sorry, I was AFK. Not really. I'm right here, but.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody. So yeah, we're doing technical problems now, trying to solve them.
Hey, it wouldn't be a quantum show without some technical difficulties. It's just,
Right, we'd be mainstream. We'd be we'd be Good Morning America.
You got to spin that roulette wheel to see what hour it shows up in.
Yep. Well, we got 13 people in the chat since we're at a kind of a little lag. Thank you, everyone, for joining in the panel discussion on the Quantum Show. If you're here, you're Quantum. Like and subscribe. I haven't said it all night long. So check all the links in the description now or after the show. Feel free. And
hey, I posed a question earlier. Does anybody remember hearing about China's launch to the moon and what happened afterwards?
I haven't heard what happened afterwards.
It crashed.
Okay, that settles that in a hurry.
Can you hear me
I
now?
hope it wasn't.
But it did make it to the moon.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Can you hear Raven now?
Can you hear me now?
Raven, sound check.
Raven.
Sound check. Check.
Speak,
Hello?
Raven. Speak.
Hello.
Bye-bye, folks.
No, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me, Joe?
No, because
Okay,
he was
Joe.
leaving.
He. Oh, okay. Well, that was sudden.
Abrupt.
I don't know what happened there.
Did the little dog? He said bye-bye, folks, and began to
He
disconnect.
didn't say what happened. He didn't mention it.
Maybe he's going to try to go out and come back too.
I think
Well,
yeah.
Then maybe.
Hopefully.
Because he still wasn't hearing Raven at all. You know, we are all four of us are limited to our financial abilities and what we can afford to do this with. We're none of us rich. So, technical difficulties might be our fault, but we have what we have, and that's all we've got. So we're here being heard on the chat.
Yeah. Okay. The people in chat can hear us, and I just
Yeah.
put on this seriously, and this is for reality check. If there were no
What's
tech problems,
happening?
it wouldn't be a paranormal show.
Yeah.
Damn
Frank
gremlins.
says he could hear everything on his end. He's been outside picking it up out there.
Okay.
Oh no, what did I do? Oh no. Oh God, what have I done
Oops.
now? Oh, I was moving
What?
this thing around so I could see the chat and read it and have the camera here, and my thumb touched something, and now I've got
She's frozen.
something weird on the screen, and I don't have you guys on the screen, but I can hear you, and I just don't know what button to push.
Your
There's all this.
video is frozen.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm sorry. I mean,
Not right now,
Okay.
Raven. That's just
Okay.
too. No.
There. Now I got you back. Okay. Is it still frozen?
Better.
Is it okay now?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's better.
I think what Bo is talking about is referring to what I called the Y files. Sounded like a PBS show or history. Yeah.
Yeah.
Har har. I get you. I get you. I get you.
I've had people in and out of this house all week with getting Millard back on his feet and therapists and visiting nurse and getting so that I'll let strangers in. That doesn't happen. You know. But he is getting better. I will say that, if anybody cares about it. He
I'm
was
glad
able to go the races
he's-
tonight by himself. He didn't need to have anybody go with him to manipulate a walk or any of that. He's on a cane. So he's doing a lot better.
So,
Good.
so did he get his
Good
tools?
deal.
Beg your pardon?
Did he get his tools so he could work on that dragon?
I don't know if he has yet or not. I don't think so. That's Frank. And as soon as he does, he'll put it together. That's a fairly quick job.
Yeah, I'm looking to see forward to seeing everybody's excuse me, painted up stuff.
It has some color on it, but we'll take that completely down to a black finish and paint it from there. And I paint it. I don't dry brush.
Here comes Joe.
Okay. Here comes Joe.
Good.
Apparently, Joe has turned into a swirling ball of light. There you go.
There he is.
Hello.
Now
rest
I'm
back.
lagging.
Through
What'd you say?
the rest
Say
of you
again?
were swirling balls of light.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Yay.
I can hear you now.
All
All
Excellent.
right. Yay. Cool. I forget what we were talking about.
I
though.
don't even have them on screen yet.
Really?
We don't.
Celestial.
Really?
Okay.
He's here.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I
Yes.
see
Yes.
him.
Okay.
Mojo Jojo. Oh my God.
Got you now. Got you now.
Did you watch Celestial, Joe?
All right. Yeah, the movie Celestial.
I did.
What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I forgot what the title was. I've seen other colored pictures of the moon.
Yes, he did.
Through other filters, and I think it really matters on the camera and the filtering.
Okay. What did you think of the domed craters and the structures.
I've seen those before, way back when Art Bell was on.
Mm-hmm.
It's years ago.
Yeah, love Art Bell.
Yeah.
So what's going on with the moon? What do you think?
Well, we already discussed this, but it's possible that the human race has reached this level before. And we got up there and we built moon bases and the whole 9 yards. And then whatever we did to ourselves, they were ended up in isolation, and we have old moon bases sitting up there.
And they probably, obviously, they probably didn't survive it, because obviously it's been deserted for a very long time. Frank said here that, yes, he has the tools, and if he gets a chance to, he'll assemble it this week.
Maybe
if it calms down around here a little bit.
Why do you
I
think?
don't know that if anybody made it to the moon, I don't know that they didn't survive. They could still be up there. I'm not going to discount that.
They may have dug deeper.
They'd have to be under. But that they have found the Indian mission found minerals, found water, found oxygen. Not at breathable levels, but they found it. And we know of oxygen concentrators here on Earth. Why couldn't they make them up there?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the big secret? Why not let the public know anything about this stuff? What's their...
Because we'd leave and stop paying taxes.
That may be part of it.
It's a huge part of it. I mean, not just the taxes, but the leaving and no longer being under their control. And anytime a society has moved away from its parent society, they've always declared their independence and caused nothing but trouble. It's not worth the investment. If we pay to colonize,
Canada didn't cause
what?
What?
Canada didn't cause any trouble. Canadians, we're down here having a revolution war, and the Canadians are going,
have that joy,
The potentiality and the cost. If we were to, fund a colony on the moon and, do all that stuff and pay for everything, and then they decide to, go, we're keeping everything and we're not working for you anymore, that would be a major crimp into somebody's plans. It's easier to just keep us down here and keep us under control. I do think they're, eventually planning for the eventuality of us all leaving, or lots of us leaving. But I think they want us all mentally more loyal to the parent company first. And we see a lot of that sort of, indoctrination, brainwashing, whatever you want to call it, to being more, a company person as opposed to a member of other organizations, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
And then COVID blew it apart.
Oh, yeah. But,
COVID was part of it.
They have had plans to go to Mars for some time. And the billionaires are getting behind that and trying to get there first so you can claim it for themselves.
Yep. Would you blame them? I mean, I'd do it.
What did I say early on in this show? The only reason to do anything is money, sex, and power. And take away money and sex, and you got power. Why go to Mars? The power of saying, screw the rest of it, we're going to do it our own way.
Plus, zero-G gravity's got to be 2 liters for your love life.
Okay. You know what? You bring up a very good point in context to my question of what's the point of all this breakaway civilization. Interesting how it came all the way back around to that.
Oh, yeah.
That's just an in my head. I mean, what
We
I
can
asked,
really
what
beat
is
the
the point
hanger
of
out
getting
the
this
bush and
all
then
on?
get right back to point, huh?
Yeah, we get. I mean, the question for those of y'all that didn't hear it, right? The question was that I asked, what is the point of having us all inoculated, thinking a certain way, scared of the same stuff, all on the same page? What's the point of that? Because our strength has always been our diversity. The point could be form a breakaway civilization and have higher control over them than they have here. Okay,
Now you're catching
that
on.
would do it. That fills the bill. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
that
does.
fills the bill.
You
And you
want
get what's
company
that
men
movie
and women
about?
who are gonna be loyal to the company versus loyal to a country, a state, a religion,
Yeah,
a political party. You know,
We've kicked that around in other shows too, though, when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
it's
no
all
longer
connected.
about
yeah. We never went
countries,
to.
it's about companies. The companies are
Mhm,
the people who are
mm.
controlling all of it, including government.
right? There have been many movies that I recommend that are all about the corporate societal future that we all will eventually, be under the thumb of and have.
BlackRock and
And
Vanguard own almost everything already. It's come
Yeah,
down to
we
those
talked
two.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch Soylent Green, Silent Running, Rollerball, and Logan's Run, and get back to me, and you'll know exactly what they have planned. And watch them in the order of Silent Running, Soylent Green, Rollerball, Logan's Run.
I
Watch
saw
those
them when they came out.
watch those movies and pay attention to the background stuff that's going on, and you will understand exactly what they've been planning for potentially 50 to 100 years.
Much of that stuff is very prophetic. You know,
Very
when
much so.
humans can conceive of a thing, they can do it. That's part of our
Hmm.
strength as a human race.
Yeah, they know how to manipulate the collective
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
towards the ending
Good
Yeah.
that
for
they
you
want.
guys. Yes,
Oh
Heston
yeah.
was the
oh,
man.
I'm not sure that manipulation.
I'm sorry, Joe. Say again.
I'm not sure that such questioning and following through on it is not part of the manipulation.
Probably.
Make us think we're free to think.
Yeah, it's also a great way
Yeah.
to box people, put people into boxes. Oh, these are the people that believe this way, so we're going to put them in this box. These are the people that believe this way. We'll put them in that box, and the people in the right box get to be the people that get to go up there, and the other people, you're going to be stuck here because you
Well,
can't be trusted.
at the risk of getting everybody into a screaming match, all you have to do is look at any 70s cop show. Who's the bad guy?
Usually, the cops.
Interesting, isn't it?
I have my own.
Very
Well,
often
and
it's
even,
the cop.
Thanks, Lunar.
well, even
Bo,
the
take care,
ones they
man.
have
You need to sleep,
cop is
and you need to, sleep peacefully. So, uh,
We're probably not the right place to be for sleeping peacefully.
Yeah. No, I bet Keith was listening and
but
says, "Nope." I warned him tonight was going to be a hard one. I did.
Yeah.
I told him you may want to just peek in for a minute.
well,
even on the cop shows, good cop, they have so many social and mental issues.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I've seen Maria watch her shows, and I go, that cop is insane. He's doing his job, but he's he's not all there.
The subtleties of it, um, very few people have the capacity to sit down and look at any sort of movie or maybe even series and completely analyze the characters down to who are they really. Now remember, you've got a writer to deal with, but a good writer has a fully dimensional character, and sometimes they're not. It's whether in reality shows are written, people have got to start realizing that they are anything but reality. But
Yeah.
the getting down to the brass tacks of who a person really is, and then have that character step completely their out of character, is very jarring to most people. Frank says we're all here because we're not all there.
Not where.
a lot more accurate than I like to think. But you know, we uh we we don't look at the things that we watch or listen to with any thought as to who that person is really, and where are they coming from, on what basis, how did they grow up, who they are. We do this with friends quite a bit, but we don't do it with anybody on the media. And maybe we need holy
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I couldn't.
Yikes.
I couldn't get to it in time.
don't worry.
Oh, I blew out, half of Nathan's eardrums.
We have real lives here. I mean, it wouldn't be outside of the norm to have a dog come through here hell bent for Hades barking, you know, or one saying, "Listen, I gotta go to bed here shortly. Let's get on with it." You know, that happens often too. Or
Okay,
a
thank
cat
you.
that gets stuck under a porch. So our lives are real.
Or a dog that squeaks the pig.
Oh, that was great.
Hmm.
Just to explain that, we were running. Sorry about that. We were running a show one night, and we had a serious person on our on talking. Suddenly, we hear oink 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 and squealing. It just as loud as it could have been. It was like, and Joe's dog had its toy and was playing with it, and this man was really upset with that. I said, "I'm sorry, but it's absolutely real here." You know, holy cow, that was funny. The harder you tried to get get the toy from the dog was having a good time.
Oh yeah. Yes.
When we say it's live, we mean live.
With real living people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're not just head and shoulders, guys. We got lives, and
Right.
they're complicated lives.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put it in the chat. Reality check. I am thinking of doing something on the show where I bring people one on one for like 5 or 6 or 7, 10 minutes. So let's see. Instead of a panel this long, 2-hour panel, right? Maybe
Right.
do a 20-minute part where people who want to come on can come on one, not panel where everybody yells at everybody, but we yell at each other only. And I was thinking about doing that. That's an old idea from Alien Girl 111, and she does it sometimes too. So
You know,
kudos,
Why
I
did you never yell?
shout out Alien Girl 111. She also keeps a link on my description. And
say
what?
go for it.
When
You
have we
know?
ever yelled?
We don't yell at each other.
Yeah.
That would be rude.
Oh, I was being sarcastic.
I-
We don't yell at each other.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Well,
you know,
one
that's the
guy, but
thing
he's
is,
gone forever now. Sorry, what?
we all have different opinions on stuff, but we, you know, our curiosity is what you know brings us together. We all have a crap ton of questions, and we're not getting them unless we really get dangerously involved in a lot of these topics. But when we share the information that each of us have picked up on our own, it kind of adds to, you know, what we're making up in our head as our answer, or what we can, you know, cope with or accept. Because like I said, you know, going out there and you know, trying to sneak into Area 51, that's not going to end well for any of us, or any of you guys. Maybe I might get away with it, but I don't recommend trying. Um, that's just asking for trouble.
You know, you and I go to White Sands and sneak into the back door to the Candy Mountain.
No.
Yeah, I was totally being facetious.
I can
I
get
don't
us
know
I
on
what
don't even
the
answer
night,
my
but
door. Okay, I don't even answer the door. I'm not getting up for that. You know.
No. You know, it's like we were saying, we're all real. And we treat this like the round table at the living room table and talk
Yeah,
decently
one
and
of
in
these nights
order
we
to
can do
each
it at
other.
Denny's.
We may not agree, but it doesn't matter. You know,
Right.
if we all agreed, what are we doing here?
Right.
Yeah. If we all
Like with
agreed,
Keith.
we would
You know.
not learn anything.
Right. A
And
good point.
nothing to
And
share.
Like I said a little while ago, Bo brings the dissenting opinion. Justin brings a dissenting opinion, or not dissenting, but just different. And
Oh
I
yeah.
like that because if we always, and we all do, but in the chat room, we all bring different stuff to this table. So, and not all of us are going to agree with everybody or
No.
at all, but that's how we learn, you know? And that's one of the successes of this my dumb little show is that I'm inclusive and we don't reject, we discuss and we integrate, and I love that.
Well, you know, when my opinions change as I understand what someone is telling me, and as things are presented to me in a way I can understand. And if I can understand it, probably most of the chat room can too. And you know, it's a necessary thing. You know, we have folks on our block we can't talk to because we aren't we cannot seem to reach a common ground with. And there are others who you'd think were clear off the chart for us that we get along with famously with.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's really a matter of perceptions,
Yeah.
asking questions and
and
exploring the question
experiences.
as well as the answers.
Yeah. And science in general needs to be more open ended like that, because as we, you know, discover new things and our technology improves, you know, it changes the story. But it's like science is very reluctant to change. They have it set in their little box, and they
Well,
try to discredit anybody
recently,
that.
yeah. If you follow the science, it stopped actually following the clinical definition of the word.
Well,
Yeah.
with
Of what
okay,
word?
with a simple career
Science.
choice like doctor or
Oh,
accepted medicine. Accepted medicine takes years, decades to change a procedure that maybe it works, but there might be another way to do it, but they won't change it, not overnight. It takes them years upon years to change uh, something as simple as a treatment for, say, a lung ailment or diabetes. Well, we've done this all these
Mm.
years, but you have to get past that idea of, okay, you've done it all these years. Look at your casualty rate. You know,
Hmm.
that's a good
Yeah.
one to look at.
That's why it's called medical practice.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
really. Yeah,
And
I've told a couple of them, don't be bothering to practice on me,
yeah.
but it's they are a definite section of science, and science will not change its opinion until it is basically drilled into tradition. That needs to change. That needs to change in a big way, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. I was just thinking about in history. Here's another thing. The world of archaeology. We've got all these things they're uncovering. Göbekli Tepe is a perfect example of this. And yet they're not changing the history books
No,
either.
they're
And
not.
and anybody who tries to suggest, that the Sphinx is not wind erosion but water erosion is immediately,
Dismissed.
excommunicated.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, it's an
You know,
information war.
and science is not just medicine or archaeology or some other discipline. All of the sciences have this problem of thinking that they know it all, and they
Yeah,
haven't scratched the damn surface, or
no,
we would already know what had gone on in Atlantis.
good point. Yep. Oh gosh, no, no.
Mhm.
There's a cat.
Oh, they found another city off of Cuba.
Yes,
They
yes,
found
another
another
sunken
city
city,
off of Cuba.
Yeah, I did see
Yep.
that.
and it's got a pyramid.
Okay. Yep.
Mhm.
Speaking of
Well, of
Atlantis,
course it does.
Mm-hmm.
There's that whole area is so loaded with jungle, it isn't funny. And they're only catching on to these with that infrared technology that
LiDAR.
they're finally
Mhm.
beginning to use in this way. They've had it for decades, and they're finally using it this way. And believe me, you only know about that city because they've already been in there and got what they wanted out of it.
yeah, that's
There's a lot
a
of that
disappointing
piracy.
thought, but I believe it. Yeah, that's a disappointing thought, but I believe it. They've
Yeah.
already gotten everything. They've already looted it.
Yeah. And I would seriously doubt an archaeologist had got within 1,000,000 feet of it. You know, they figured out what they
not
wanted
unless
from it, got it. Beg
not
pardon?
unless he was a G8 or above. Not unless he was a G8 or above.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What's a G8?
Oh,
It's he's in the government and he's being paid by the government and therefore,
Oh,
we'll
Hmm.
say what the government says.
They've
Yep.
known
okay.
about that city for at least 2 years. At
Yeah,
least that long.
because a woman is actually the one who discovered it, but there's a man taking credit for it now. You know,
hmm.
That doesn't surprise me, especially.
mhm.
What do we do? Get used to it.
Get used to it. I thought we were just talking about getting unused to some of this.
Just being a snarky bastard as usual.
It's okay. I'm snarky back. That's okay. What's good to give is good to get. Yeah.
Yep. Ceramic.
Ceramic. What does that mean?
Lunar?
She's painting. Lunar's painting a lawn fairy statue made out of
Okay.
ceramic.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
bet that's gorgeous.
Okay.
Made from clay that somebody tried to burn.
Yeah, you know, the more I think about it, the more I like the idea of having a one-on-one with everybody just for a little bit. Not a whole hour, a panel, but just a one-on-one. Like, I would love to have you on here, Lunar Sparkles, you know? And Reality Check wants to come on. And I would, Bo and Justin. I don't know if, I think they're both gone now. I would love to
Yeah.
butt
They
heads
both
with
have
them
to
on
hit the
here.
hay. I'm doing a show with Bo
okay.
tomorrow, 2:00 my time. We're doing a movie review, and Justin's everywhere. He doesn't have a channel, but he's on everybody's channel.
You know, doing
Hello,
something
Bella.
like that gives you an idea of who people are.
Yeah, you can call it vetting or just getting to know people, but it's
Right.
not a bad idea, you know. Especially, you know, for those nights when some of us can't make it or something like that, or just, you know, getting to know the people that show up in the chat, you know, so they you know, get that sort of, you know, I do one-on-one shows all the time, but they're usually a 2-hour show. I'm gonna have to have you on, Nathan, just so all the people on my channel can get to know you and who I'm talking about. You know, we need to do that because I've had some of the best out there. I've had Bo on my one-on-one. I've had some of the other folks that have come and visited us, the Crafting Gamer, you know, folks like that. It's really neat seeing the people from the, you know, the gaming and the hobby sort of thing being able to come over here and not feel like, you know, feel really welcome that they also have the other interests besides just rolling dice and, you know, painting toy army men and stuff.
Right.
You know, these are, like I was saying earlier, we're all real people. Each of us have real lives and real concerns about some of the things we talk about on this show, and of course some of the hobby stuff that we all do. You know, I'm an artist. I paint, and when I can see anyway, and the you know, our different personalities. You know, our people in our chat make our show successful, and getting to know them lets us see what we can put on here that will interest them further.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, I had Bella visit me here, so I'm going to have to take
I knew
off.
she was
No,
coming.
you know, it's a good thing I don't live in Texas because I would kidnap your puppy on Saturday morning.
I get there first.
She would drag you out and slam you like in a cartoon. Bella would.
Yes, she would.
I would lure her away with nice juicy sausages, a whole string of them.
You can't lure Bella away from Joe. You can't. I will.
Joe, thanks for
will
coming on the
spoil
panel,
her,
man.
and she will go and she'll
Good to
go
see
right
you.
back to Joe.
Yeah, my boy's like that
Good night,
too.
Joe.
Although
You have a good evening.
without the loyalty. Take care, Joe. Good seeing you again as always. Have a great week.
Nobbin.
All right, you guys have a great weekend and see you next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Count on it.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Oh. I think he's disconnecting and the server is catching up.
Here we go.
Okay.
He's just
And
getting
yeah,
it
I try to
going.
interact. Reality check. I try to talk to the people. I try to talk to the people who come visit the show because, like Keith says, and I should say it too, right? Uh, you guys, you give me your time, and all I can do is be nice. That's all I have the power to do is be nice. I'm not gonna heckle anybody who wants to come around and watch. So yeah, thank you for
Well,
coming by and showing an interest.
you can heckle Justin. I give you my permission.
Well,
Hmm.
okay.
He loves it.
Justin has some very good points when he
Yeah.
makes them.
Mhm.
No, Justin's quite the character,
Yeah.
but he's got a good heart.
Yes.
I think. I don't know. I mean, I've only seen that little
Yeah.
image of him.
And
He's never been live on camera, so I can't really get a good read. Hey, what's up, TCG?
hey, Crafting Gamer. Palladium Phase World Game.
It's like a.
Ah,
What?
Do you remember the game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in the day?
sure.
Yes.
The role playing game for the Turtles.
Hmm.
It's made by
Vaguely.
that company, and they do a bunch of other games. Or the
Okay.
Robotech role playing game was made by a company
Okay.
called Palladium.
Okay. All right. It's been a while. Palladium did ring a bell.
System.
Well, Crafting Gamer, Keith has already written that book. It's called Races
Yeah.
of the Worlds. Shameless plug. His link is in the description. And I
Definitely check
know,
it out. It's a good book.
yeah, it worth it. Buy it. Don't even wait for the second version. Just get it now, and totally worth it. So my knowledge of aliens is minuscule at best. Okay. I do have some, but not as much as Keith does because Keith's a contactee, a regular contactee. He's kind of like the unofficial ambassador
Yeah.
because they want him to be, and
Yeah.
I works for me. You know, I mean, anywhere I get, I've actually sent messages, and he has delivered messages for me and back again. little like text message, little short ones like a tweet, right? But there's no quantum Twitter yet, so we can't directly talk to them. And
Well, let's
yeah,
hope that
working
if
on
there
it.
is, that
Yeah,
somebody
Yeah,
else is
let's
running it.
get that going, Nathan.
No
we're
freaking
working on
way.
it.
Okay.
Hey, my brother from another mother. How you
Hey,
doing?
Hungar.
Hungar.
Starbarian. I like that. That's a good name. That's a
Hungar
good
is
play on
Hungar is
words.
one of the best people you could ever be blessed to meet. Even if he does spell my name wrong intentionally. Love you like a brother, man. I couldn't do the show without Jackie. He's away visiting family, and I just couldn't do the show tonight without him. You'll just have to,
He's not back yet.
wait till Sunday or Monday. I do a regular show with Hungar and Justin, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings.
Yeah.
And they're
It's a
great
good
guys.
show.
You should
It-
put the link in.
Yeah, I should, but I'm not gonna because I'm lazy. No, I can't leave this screen and do that. It's called the Chaotic Neutral live stream. For you D&D players, you should catch the ref. It's just a bunch of goof-offs goofing off for an hour to get the beginning, middle, and the end of the week started with a good dose of belly laugh
Yeah.
and a reverence to all things.
Mm-hmm.
So leave your hang-ups at the door and come on in and get ready to be offended by at least one thing we will say or do.
If I got anything to do with it, a half a dozen. So
Yeah, probably, but you know what? It's
they're
really a
they're
choice to
funny.
be offended. If you choose to be offended, Sorry, not sorry, but
Yeah, they're not
it-
that bad.
yeah,
not that
it's just a bunch of goof offs goofing off, you know. And who doesn't need more of that in their life, right?
Well, if I was worried about whatever the people thought, I should not be here.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm. Yep. Reality is saying none of us are experts. It's all theoretical. You know
Mhm.
what? Yeah. We can't even agree on colors. So,
Exactly. Apricot.
yeah.
Dishwasher gray. That's cute.
Dishwasher gray. Possum blonde. Okay, that's a joke.
Because blondes are awesome.
Oh, well. Okay. Disclosure, right? Oh, that's a keyword here. That's a hot button here. Disclosure.
Oh,
Mhm.
Boy.
yeah.
Disclosure is not going to happen because you don't tell the cows they're going to slaughter. You don't tell the sheep they're being used for what they produce. Oh man. We had a show about that disclosure. It was the disclosure show that day. It was a while back. Maybe we should
Sorry.
revisit that one day. But post non-disclosure event. Oh, Tesla. Oh my God. Okay, another hot button right there. That is another big hot button. So, whoo. Yeah, the Pleiadians. I've
It's
heard
too
of them.
late
They've never.
today to start another one and
Yeah,
start another
too late.
line of thought.
I invite you to like and
We know,
subscribe.
Diane. We can feel
Reality
your
Diane.
Check.
presence.
Hi, Diane. We're glad you're here.
Hi, Diane.
Yeah. Hi, Diane.
But yeah, you know what, y'all? I need to wrap it up because I had a long day. I put a fence together and troubleshot it today. Two big driving trips, right?
Oh,
So
boy.
we've had
Just
a
in
great
time
show.
to say
This
goodnight,
has been
Derek.
great. Yep. Sorry. Yep,
Hi,
Derek,
Derek.
we're about to wrap it up. I'm sorry, man. We had a really good show tonight. The panel was off the hook tonight. It was great. And I love when we can talk about all the stuff and have everybody chime in. And yeah, I will always include the chat as much as I can, as long as it's not that one guy.
Yeah.
So everybody, yeah,
Mhm.
keep it quantum. If you're here, you're quantum. If you're here by proxy, you're still quantum. And I want everybody to have a good time, good night, good weekend, good day, wherever you are. Okay. And I'm going to reiterate, this was the theme for tonight's show, right? This was the
Mhm.
theme. And I hope everybody gets a picture of that wants one. So, y'all have a good night. I'm going to go ahead and thank you, Diane. I'm going to go ahead and end it. Don't
Happy
hang
trails,
up.
folks.
Okay. We got to go backstage. For
Y'all
few
have
minutes.
a blessed,
That's when the real party
And,
begins.
week.
We'll be back in a week. If anything happens, parts
God
come
bless
in.
them, God.
I build something. You know, I go to the mothership. Whatever. I will be sure to take my phone and tell you about it.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
y'all have a good one, everybody.
I want
Keeping it
pictures.
quantum.
Bye, Derek.
Good night.
Good night,
night.
everyone.
Pushing buttons. That's a good one. Pushing buttons.